Hey students, this is Miss Shofity. I just wanted to give you guys a little bit more information on how to use the Discovery Ed Techbook. So we are in the Social Studies Techbook up here. We are in the United States History, Prehistory to the Present. Make sure you're in the right one. United States History, Prehistory to the Present. And we are in Unit 1, Building a Nation. Unit 1, Building a Nation. Chapter 2, Life in the Colonies. And then we're just going to use Section 2.1, 3 Colonial Regions, just as a, example of what we're doing today. So if you are doing Cornell Notes, remember, we usually always start for Cornell Notes in the Explore tab. The Explore tab is where you're going to find the page numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. That will, for the most part, match up to your Cornell Note questions. So for Cornell Notes, number 1, you probably should look on page 1, and then make sure the question on Cornell Notes actually does correspond to the question on the page. So how were the New England colonies established? How were the New England colonies established? So remember, Cornell Notes numbers, like number 1, will most of the time correspond to page number 1, and so on and so forth. As we get through the year a little bit more, it may skip some numbers. So we might go from, question number 1 on page 1 to question number 2 on page 4, but it's pretty straightforward, and it won't go, back and forth from page 12 all the way back to page 8, because that's just not helpful. So kind of remember that for Cornell Notes. All right, so I wanted to show you guys a little bit about using the Techbook. So on page 1 for section 2.1, how were the New England colonies established? It does have an outline map, and then it kind of gets into the text. So this is really interesting. In the 16 and 1700s, a new religious group, the Puritans, was developing a large following in England. And then it goes on and on and on and on and on. So if you are like, that's kind of hard to read and a little bit complicated, you can go down to this where it says More, and it has the 3 dots, 1, 2, and 3. Click on that, and you can actually change the reading level from level A, which is a little bit more complicated, to level B, which may be a little bit easier and easier to understand. So I'm going to change it to level B right now. And so it will change it to being slightly more, easier to understand. If you are like, oh no, level A is fine, I like it to be a little complicated, then go down to the dots, 1, 2, and 3. Click on that, and you can change it back to level A. So there's level A. I think pretty much the Techbook defaults, which means it will always go back to level A. So if you prefer level B, then when you go back into the Techbook after, a few hours or a few days, you may have to go back and change it yourself, because it will always go back to level A. So, as you can see also, it will change languages. Right now, just English and Spanish. If you are really good at Spanish, you know a lot of Spanish, then you can change the whole entire Techbook, on that page at least, to Spanish. So maybe this is something to kind of challenge yourself at some point, but I think for now, we'll change it back to level A in English. Okay, so another really good tip, if you are a better learner when you're listening instead of having to read it for yourself, and you know, that's it. You can actually highlight the text. So you can highlight the text, and then this little box comes up. Speak the text, highlight, take notes, and then close and drag. So we're actually going to try to do speak text. Let's listen.
1600s and 1700s, a new religious group, the Puritans, was developing in large London and England. They called themselves Puritans because they wanted to put on the Church of England, which they thought was corrupt by the practices of the Roman Catholic Church.
So I'm going to pause it right there. Um, Even if you think, oh, well, I do learn better when I hear it, I still would like you to follow along with your eyes. So maybe you're having the robot woman, you know, speak the text, which is fine, but I do want you to kind of follow along. It's really good practice in reading when you're listening to also try to be able to follow along in the text. So I hope this helps you. I hope this helps you get a little bit more familiar with the Techbook and, you know, what kind of like, you know, helpful hints are there for you. You don't have to use these, but at least you know that there are these sources. So, anyway, have a great day.